right. Good morning. So before we dive into the topic at hand, which is AMRAP sets, as many reps as possible sets, we need to lay the foundation for why this is even a topic deserving of discussing. In the clinic, when you work with patients, when you work with clients, whether they be fitness athletes or not fitness athletes, right? You can treat every individual as an athlete, but maybe not everyone qualifies as an athlete, you could say. You are going to, at some point, and I would argue that nearly 90% of patients you see at some point will have a goal of improving strength, of increasing strength for that individual. By the time they finish their plan of care, they will have 5 out of 5 strength. They will be able to lift 55 pounds from the ground for 8 repetitions. They will be able to lift and carry 200 feet with 75 pounds, whatever it may be. When you're looking at your post-operative patients, more often than not, you have those same goals, right? We want to improve strength in the limb that they have surgery on. You want to improve size, mass, hypertrophy of that quad, of the rotator cuff or the posterior shoulder or the deltoid. Regardless of what patient you're seeing in front of you, more than likely the possibility of having a strength or muscle size or hypertrophy goal is going to be there. And what we know when we look at the science, when we look at the data, is if we want to build muscle mass, if we want hypertrophy to occur, we need to be working somewhere as low as 30 and up % of 1 rep max. But here's the caveat, right? While 30% is like the lowest we want to have, lowest percentage weight we want to use, that percentage, that low percentage, which maybe you're already having your patients do somewhere around the 30% 1 rep max, if the movement, if the exercises are not taken to a point of maximal effort, if it's not taken to a point of near failure, if it's not an all-out work, 30%, tons and tons and tons and tons of reps where they finally are feeling that burn and they're getting that exhaustion and they need to rest, we're missing the mark. And if we go specifically with strength, there we're talking about 60% plus, right? Higher repetition maxes, higher percentages, more weight, more load to truly build that strength that is needed in muscles to do day-to-day activities, whether it be squatting, standing, lifting things up off the ground, explosive movements, increased motor unit contraction and involvement. That's when we need more weights. But the majority of the time, especially with our post-operative patients, they can't handle those heavy loads. So we start with hypertrophy. We start building up muscle mass. First, get some more muscle motor units in there, and then we can start building up strength after that. Unfortunately, right, it's hard to prescribe weights and load in that 30 or 60 or 70 or 80% 1 rep max if we don't know what that 1 repetition max is. What is the maximal effort? What is the highest amount of weight this individual can work and control? For that, we need to be able to determine that, right? We need data. Okay, can I figure out what a 5 rep max is? Can I figure out what a 3 rep max is? Can I figure out what a 1 rep max is? And the truth is, and I've been doing this for 10 years. I've seen a lot of different clinicians in different clinics that I've been able to work in outpatient ortho and such. And the truth is, not many people are comfortable with the idea of taking patients to a 5 repetition max or a 3 rep max, and much less a 1 repetition max. What is the maximal effort that you can perform this movement with this maximal weight? It just doesn't happen very often. We would love you to be able to determine that, to find out, hey, is this a 5 rep max? Can I now calculate a 1 rep max? And can I use those numbers to then truly program and progress my patients with strength and hypertrophy work? But for those of us who are just not going to do it, or we need a way that's a little bit, maybe a little bit more comfortable, where you can do a test retest, that is where the idea of AMRAP sets come in. AMRAP sets are not only a way to assess if you're loading and stressing your patient enough to actually elicit a response, but it's a way to check to make sure that you are actually giving your patient something that is stressful and difficult enough to actually have an adaptive change. You're not wasting your patient's time. You're not wasting your patient's financial dollars, right? Their bills, their medical bills, everything like that. You're not wasting your time in just giving random weights to an individual. Before we dive into AMRAP sets, though, let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Guillermo Contreras. I'm a faculty member in the fitness athlete division. This is Fitness Athlete Friday, the best day of the week in all things fitness athletes. So if you're working with an active population, runners, cyclists, weightlifters, bodybuilders, CrossFitters, F45 boot campers, fuel boot campers, any type of boot camper, anyone that plays with weights, does a lot of plyometric type work, or in general just wants to be active and healthy, this is the day for you. The things we talk about in the fitness athlete division obviously goes towards the world of CrossFit and functional fitness, but the principles we teach in the fitness athlete coursework can apply to any individual across the life spectrum, whether older adult, young youth athlete, and abroad. If you are looking to learn more, dive into the stuff we talk about, want to get more comfortable with the barbell, with loading individuals, the Fitness Athlete Level 1 starts up this week. So our week 0 was this past Monday. The first meeting is this coming Monday. So there's still time to sign up. If you've been really kind of on the fence about joining or not, highly recommend you sign up. Starts up on Monday. We'd love to have you there. Level 2, we have 2 level 2 courses per year. The second level 2 course will start sometime this spring. The date, I'm not sure, is 100% announced yet, but it will be out soon. You can check ptnis.com to see when that starts up. But if you're someone who's looking to be certified in the fitness athlete, that is part of the coursework for that there. And if you've been putting it off, that course almost always sells out. So please be sure to sign up sooner rather than later. Don't wait till the last minute. If you are looking to see us live on the road, get your hands on a barbell, be around a number of clinicians, all of them with the same passion for the barbell or wanting to learn how to move well, learn about programming, recovery, principles of how to increase intensity in the clinical setting. We have multiple courses coming up all over the country, most closely right now in Windsor, Colorado, next weekend, April 5th and 6th. Knoxville, Tennessee in May 17th and 18th. And then in June on the 2nd and 3rd, we are in Chicago, Illinois. And then June 9th and 10th, we are in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we hope to see you on the road. Please check it out, ptnis.com. Sign up for a course if that is something that intrigues you. So AMRAP sets, right? That is the topic at hand. Let's go ahead and talk about what it looks like and how we can use it in the clinic. When we're talking about AMRAP sets, when we're talking about loading our patients appropriately and ensuring that the load we're providing them is adequate to create a response, we are going to use the AMRAP set to do that. And here's how we fix it. If we are just giving someone load, and I'll use the leg press as an example because most clinics will have some version of a leg press, whether it be from 1980 or most recently like 2025, right? You'll have a newer one or older one. Most clinics will have some version of a leg press. If you have Martha on that leg press, and Martha is doing the 3 sets of 8 repetitions today, and you say, Martha, I want to warm you up a little bit. We're going to do a weight that should feel somewhere between a 6 to a 7 out of 10. And you start getting Martha loaded up. You start warming her up. She gets to that point. She's like, yeah, this is definitely a 6, maybe 7, probably an 8 out of 10. You're like, all right, Martha, let's do 1 set, 8 reps, rest. You're kind of questioning, like, it didn't really look that hard, but I'm gonna trust her here. Second set, another set of 8. No problem. She's doing well. On that 3rd set, rather than just having Martha do 8 reps, you are now saying, Martha, on this last set, I'm going to have you do an AMRAP. And AMRAP stands for as many reps as possible. So on this 3rd set, I want you to do as many reps as you can do on this leg press until you are near exhaustion, until you're, yep, I got nothing left in the tank. And Martha's like, all right, sounds good. Martha starts going 4, 5. All of a sudden, you start talking to Martha, asking her some questions while she's working through this set because she doesn't look that tired. She keeps going. Next thing you know, you're at 12, 13, 14, 15. Martha is still going and still going and still going. All of a sudden, Martha's like, I guess I'm getting kind of tired. I think I'll stop now. And you look at Martha and you're like, Martha, you just did 26 reps. You told me on your first set that felt like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I'm telling you right now, 26 reps is not a 6 or 7 out of 10. If you had to rate that on a 0 to 10 scale, you told me 6 to 7, that definitely was not that. What that did is told you, hey, I significantly underdosed this individual. That load was nowhere near enough to challenge her to get stronger, to improve muscle hypertrophy, right? That was a very low load. It might do some hypertrophy if she gets to the point of exhaustion, but Martha finished at 26 and she was still talking about her nieces and her nephews and her grandkids without any exhaustion. So that tells you right away, okay, right there, I need to check myself because I just let her guide this session versus me saying, like, is this actually difficult? And because I wasn't sure if this was around 60%, if this was around 50%, I didn't know what her 1 rep max is because I haven't tested it out. This is a way to say, okay, I want to be smart about how I dose her because I know she's rather sensitive. So we're going to go 26 reps there. I'm going to see how her symptoms respond over the next 24 hours. But if she comes back and she says, I don't feel like I did anything, I didn't feel sore, I didn't feel fatigued, I didn't feel like anything did a whole lot for me, you say, okay, Martha, you know what we're going to do is I'm going to pump that weight up. We're going to warm you up again. We're going to get you going. We're going to build 20, 30 pounds more than we did last time. And I want to see on that last set, if we do another AMRAP set, can you land a lot closer to those 8 reps that I'm looking for? That is how you use AMRAP sets, how you utilize AMRAP sets to ensure that the loading that you're using with your patients is actually being productive. If you are just blindly giving weights, saying, okay, I'm just going to assume that this person can only do 45 pounds because they're 80 years old, you are doing a disservice to your patients. Use the AMRAP set to say, okay, I'm going to give them 75 pounds, but rather than saying 3 sets of 8, then we'll get off and walk away and then go do another exercise before asking if it actually is beneficial, I'm going to use this to determine if what I'm doing is actually productive. You load them up, you make them work. That final set, you say, I want you to give me your maximal effort. Give me everything you got for this one here, full range of motion, all the way up, all the way down, whatever the movement may be. If they hit the rep range you're looking for, be it 6 to 8 reps, be it 8 to 10 reps, whatever it is, if they land in that realm, you know you're doing it right. You know that you are making a productive change, an adaptive change for that individual. If they blow it out of the water, they do 20 reps and you only wanted 6, you know that you were underloading significantly. If they die, just struggle and get 3 reps and you wanted 12, you know that, hey, I am significantly overcooking this individual. I'm giving them much more than the body can handle. They do not have the strength for this just yet. At the same time, you also want to do symptom behavior. If you're doing sets of 8, you get it, and they're like sore for the next 5 days. They have some pain that comes back. If something gets elicited, you know, again, okay, even though they hit the intensity I wanted, their tissues might not be ready for that intensity. So what changes can I make? Can I add tempo? Can I add pauses? Can I include isometrics? Can I do up with 2, down with 1? What can I modify in this movement? Does range need to change? Does the movement as a whole, is the leg press too much? Do I need to do more of like a random squat pattern or an assisted squat pattern or a step up pattern or maybe a split squat? What do I need to change? What do I need to modify, regress to allow this person to continue to load, strengthen, build muscle mass, build strength without creating symptoms? If you're not sure how, if I just said a lot of words, if you heard me say RPE of 6 out of 10, you're like, I'm not really sure what RPE is. Hopefully not. Like most people should know what RPE is. But if you're not familiar with RIR, reps in reserve, another way to determine if someone is using enough weights, another question you can ask that sometimes clicks a little better in people's brains. If you don't know how to modify movements, if you're not sure, like, what do I change? How do I add tempo? What kind of tempo do I do? 6 seconds? Do I do 5 seconds? Do I do 3 seconds? Do I do isometrics? Where do I start? If any of those questions are in your mind, I would love to see you in a fitness athlete course. I would love to see you on the road in a fitness athlete live course. Because as I mentioned, these principles apply to every population. It is called Fitness Athlete Live, clinical management of the fitness athlete. We are looking at everything that you see in the gym, barbells, the pull-up bar, Olympic lifting, everything there. But that doesn't mean that the principles that we talk about only apply to fitness athletes, because every single person in front of you can benefit from strength training, can benefit from intensity, conditioning, cardiovascular training. And that is why the AMRAP set is something you can use to determine, am I doing the right thing for the patient in front of me? My Martha example, she's not some 30-year-old doing CrossFit day-to-day basis, right? For me, the Marthas I saw in the clinic most often were 55 and up. They were not high-level athletes. They maybe did some exercise when they were younger, but they haven't done much besides walking for the last 10, 15 years. And they had no idea how weak their legs had gotten. And I use these principles all the time to improve their leg strength, to improve their muscle mass in their legs, to get them more confident in getting up and off the ground, going up the stairs at home, playing with their grandkids, gardening in their backyard. The principles of the fitness athlete can be applied to any population. We just love working with fitness athletes, and that's what we talk about. So please, if this intrigued you, if you're interested in using AMRAP sets, feel free to reach out with any questions on it. I would love to help you out there. If you want to dive deep into this stuff, please hang out with us in the level 1, level 2, or the live course. We would love to teach you more there and hang out with you more there, answer any questions there as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys, gang. Please have a wonderful weekend and start using those AMRAP sets in the clinic yourself.